welcome guys back to another video on the channel. We are doing another episode of Arsenal Transfer News Daily. We've got some quite shocking news today, as apparently Jorginho from Chelsea has been linked with a potential move. I will be talking about that with the possibility of Guendouzi being swapped for Jorginho, and we'll also be talking about Philippe Coutinho's reports suggesting that Coutinho deal could be back on, and we'll be also talking about Mohamed Elneny. So let's get straight into it. First of all, we are going to be moving on to the main news that has rattled through today. Sky Sports coming out saying Arsenal have been linked with Chelsea's Jorginho, the penalty taker, the brilliant penalty taker, Jorginho himself. Like, we don't have enough good penalty takers as it is. We need Jorginho. Now, Jorginho, if you want a bit of backstory on him, he was a player that played for Napoli, and Chelsea and Manchester City were heavily interested in the player. Now, Man City, that was under Mikel Arteta, so Man City's interest probably had to do something with Arteta. So I'm not surprised we are linked with Jorginho, and Man City were really close to signing Jorginho, but Chelsea swooped in last minute and got the deal done for around 45 to 50 million pounds. And reports today suggesting that Arsenal are interested in a shock move for Chelsea star Jorginho, as Mikel Arteta aimed for midfield reinforcements as Gunners continue to track Houssem Aouar in Thomas Partey. If you guys do want to state a player in Thomas Partey and Houssem Aouar, I did do a video yesterday discussing that, but Arsenal are showing interest in Chelsea midfielder Jorginho as the search for midfield reinforcements continue. As I said earlier, this has been reported by Sky Sports, and we'll repeat the backstory for a second. And Pep Guardiola's Man City set up when they wanted to sign the Italian from Napoli back in 2018. However, Jorginho opted to follow his manager Maurizio Sarri to Chelsea instead, and remains in their midfield options under Frank Lampard. The 28-year-old has started both Premier League matches this season. He's even captained them, but has tough competition with places with N'Golo Kante, Mateo Kovacic and Billy Gilmore, all specialising in the deep lying role too. And obviously, if Chelsea bring in Declan Rice, that'll create even more competition. And Arsenal's current midfield options are slightly less than their London rivals, with the likes of Lucas Torreira and Matteo Guendouzi falling out of favour under Arteta's reign. Chelsea's number 5 joined from Serie A in summer 2018 for £50 million plus a potential £7 million in add-ons. He's made 100 appearances now for Chelsea, scoring 10 goals as the side's designated penalty taker. And as I said, that's pretty much what he does. He has a good pass, and overall, Jorginho is a player that I think he's better than what we've got. I think he will definitely improve our team if we do end up getting him. But again, I want to see Thomas Partey. I want to see Houssem Aouar. I don't want us going after our second targets, but because our first targets, our number 1 targets, are not impossible targets, we should be getting them done. And I don't know why we're not getting them done. It's really, really weird. And again, Jorginho is it's a shock target, as I've put in the thumbnail and the title probably. And it's a very surprising one. Don't know why we're going in for him. And if we are doing a possible deal, then will it include Matteo Guendouzi? Because obviously reports suggested that Chelsea were interested in Matteo Guendouzi. We reported a few days ago, and we also reported that Kante could be surplus to requirements, so it will be either Kante or Jorginho. Now obviously, like the PSG have been interested in Kante, so if Chelsea can't sell Kante but they can sell Jorginho, I think that's what they'll try and do. Obviously, Jorginho was a Maurizio Sarri player, he wasn't a Frank Lampard player, so that also does play on someone like Jorginho's mind. And Mikel Arteta really is a fan of Jorginho, that is pretty much certain. So again, I can't say too much, but we are going to have a little quick look at his stats. In the English Premier League season 1920, Jorginho played 27 matches plus 4 as a sub. They had 4 shots on target from a total of 8 shots and scored 4 goals, 3.38 expected goal ratio. Jorginho averaged 74 passes per match with a pass completion rate of 89% and had 2 assists. Jorginho received 10 yellow cards and 0 yellow cards. So again, disciplinary record is alright. He's a very good passer of the ball, something I think we already have with Granit Xhaka. And again, is he a player we desperately need? I think someone like Partey will be much better in that respect. And again, why aren't we going after our top targets? Why are we settling for players like Jorginho? I think we should be trying to go after the likes of Partey, get that release clause done. And I think if Chelsea don't want Matteo Guendouzi because they're going after Declan Rice, what happens with this Jorginho deal? Because we'll have to pay around 40-50 million pounds to actually get this one over the line. So how will it fare? How will it work? I'm not too sure about it, and I think only time will tell whether this deal will progress. Again, it's Sky Sports. I don't see them as a reliable source. They they're the last place I'd go for news, to be honest, along with the likes of Daily Mail, Star, obviously those kind of things. I wouldn't go to them. I think journalists have good information, so again, I wouldn't go be reliable on Sky Sports. But they have reported that Arsenal have been interested in Jorginho. Again, last few days, a lot of reports coming out that Arsenal and Chelsea do want to do a deal of some sorts for some of their players, like Callum Hudson-Odoi, Kante, and Jorginho obviously now being linked. A lot of those players could be available. Loftus-Cheek as well as another player Chelsea could be willing to loan, and Chelsea are looking to get rid of a lot of players because they have signed so many. Obviously Edouard Mendy is another one they've brought in, so it'll be very interesting to see how this one progresses. But that is the news. We have been linked with Jorginho on a possible swap deal with Matteo Guendouzi. I'm not too sure. Leave your thoughts in the comment section down below about this. Would you love to see Jorginho at Arsenal? Personally, I'm a bit iffy on it, but if we can't get Partey, I think this is what we will have to settle with. And next bit of news is on Philippe Coutinho. Now, we stopped talking about him like a week or two ago, didn't we? And we did say that the deal was off. It looked like Ronald Koeman wanted to keep him, and this still looks like the case. But obviously, Arsenal now being very iffy on the case of Hossein Mouah and Thomas Partey, very reluctant to pay the asking prices. Arsenal reportedly plotting a late bid for Philippe Coutinho as Mikel Arteta refuses to give up on Barcelona star. Arsenal could make a last-minute loan move, reports claim. The Gunners have been heavily linked with a bid for the Barcelona playmaker before turning their attention to Lyon ace Hossein Mouah. Coutinho's agent ruled out a move away from the new camp this window, with the player in the plans of new boss Ronald Koeman. But according to Sport, even though the ex-Everton gaffer is a fan of the 28-year-old, the club's financial situation means that they are open to listening to offers for him. And with Arsenal struggling to match Lyon's asking price for Mouah, it has been said that they could go back in for the Brazilian international. The Spanish news outlet have claimed Mikel Arteta's side are willing to bring Coutinho to North London on loan. Coutinho is seen as a cheaper alternative to Mouah, which will allow Arsenal to pursue Atletico Madrid midfielder Thomas Partey. The ex-Liverpool star, who is in line to start against Villarreal at the weekend, still has 3 years left on his contract in Catalonia. It has been said that the Blaugrana wouldn't entertain selling him for less than £64 million. Again, that's still a huge cut from what they actually signed him for, which was around £140 million. Should Coutinho join Arsenal, ultimately signal the end of Mesut Ozil, who has once again been frozen out of the side this season after failing to make the squad for Arsenal's 2-0 win against Leicester City in the Carabao Cup. On Wednesday, Arteta was asked about Ozil's absence. He said the team is evolving. You can see the level they are achieving. This is where we are at the moment. We want to evolve more and play better and compete better. We need to keep maintaining that. I'm really happy with the performance here. How difficult they're making things for the coaching staff to select the squad. Again, he earns a lot, Ozil. Arteta also went on to say we are picking the best players and we believe for every game. You can see we keep training. It's what we're trying to do. You can see that the players we are changing, we are using. It's very difficult every week, not just for Mesut, but for other players as well to make the squad. Every week we try to pick the right players. Of course, I understand and respect your questions, but I have to do my job as fair as possible. I just select the players that are, in my opinion, in the best condition. So that's what Mikel Arteta had to say on Mesut Ozil. And reports claiming in Spain, and obviously from online, Leif Youssef, journalist, is suggesting that Arsenal could make a concrete bid for Philippe Coutinho in the coming days. And I think this one, I've said this so many times with Philippe Coutinho when I talked about him earlier in the window, that this will be a deal that will happen late, that Arsenal will put in a late bid and somehow trying to get him over the line. Very similar to what Bayern Munich did when they got him on loan. It was a very last-ditch mid, and Barcelona ended up accepting it. Philippe Coutinho ended up accepting it. But it does look like, obviously, Barcelona have a new manager of Ronald Koeman, and he wants to keep Philippe Coutinho. Obviously, he's £140 million player. So if Barcelona, if Ronald Koeman wants to keep him, I think Barcelona should play along with it. But again, their financial situation isn't very great. They've had to get rid of Suarez, Rakitic, Vidal, other players as well, like Semedo. So, their situation isn't the greatest, and they are looking to sign players as well as let go of players. So, Philippe Coutinho could be one that could be out of the door. Again, I can't really say if this is true or not, whether we are going to make a bid in for him, but it looks like the deal could be back on. Leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. Would you go after him or a Mouah and then go after Partey in a cash deal? Leave your thoughts about that in the comment section down below. But that is the news, that we are once again linked with Philippe Coutinho. Philippe Coutinho deal looks back on. Kid Eruption hasn't said much about this, whether Arsenal will make a bid in, but time will tell, as I've always said with some of these deals. So the next player I want to talk about is Mohamed Elneny. Now, he is a player that obviously was at loan in Turkey last season with Besiktas, and he has now come back after sort of a failed loan at Besiktas, I would say. He played well in most spots, but he fell out with the club hierarchy, which is one of the reasons he has now returned to Arsenal. Elneny is a player that has been used quite often with Mikel Arteta. He scored against MK Dons, played in the Community Shield, played really well in that game. I didn't play in, I think he played in the Fulham game, but then didn't play in the West Ham game, and now played in the Leicester game. So he is a player that Mikel Arteta is playing quite a lot, and it looks like he is training well, and I think he is playing all right. And as I said, all right, we need to do as a football club better than all right. And it looks like reports suggesting that Mikel Arteta may end up keeping Mohamed Elneny. This is because maybe Arsenal, may not get all their midfield targets, which is quite disappointing. But, Elneny is subject to a lot of interest from a lot of Turkish clubs. Obviously, he played in the Turkish league, so a lot of those clubs know what he's all about, especially the likes of Fenerbahce are interested in him. Istanbul Başakşehir are also interested in him, and other clubs around Turkey and other clubs around Europe would probably be interested in Elneny's services. Now, it does look like Arsenal, don't want a loan deal. They want money up front to spend on some of the other players they want, and it will be very interesting to see if Elneny does leave in the summer transfer window. He he did an interview after the Fulham game, and he said he's very happy here. Obviously, he didn't make his future any clearer, because obviously, he's just come back from loan. Will Mikel Arteta decide to keep him? Is he only playing him so more money is added on? I don't know, because obviously clubs around Turkey as well, won't have a lot of money to be able to spend. So, will Arsenal have to make a compromise on Elneny's future? I'm not too sure, but reports are suggesting that Arsenal do want to keep him. Leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. Would you let go of Elneny, or would you keep him as a squad rotation player? I certainly wouldn't. And that is the news on Mohamed Elneny. So the last bit of news I want to touch on is on Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Now, as we know, he did sign that new contract with Arsenal, and he has gone behind the scenes with Sky Sports to give an interview that he did actually reject other deals before actually signing with Arsenal. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang considered leaving Arsenal, but Mikel Arteta was key to a new contract, and he did speak to Sky Sports. Barcelona did make a concrete offer to sign Aubameyang, who was also attracted interest from Inter Milan, before Arsenal confirmed their captain had signed a new 3-year deal after months of speculation over his future. The 31-year-old helped Arsenal win the FA Cup last summer and the Community Shield at the start of 2021, scoring in both games and netted in a side opening Premier League win over Fulham. And he spoke to Sky Sports exclusively and said that two things persuaded me to stay. He said first thing was Mikel Arteta, because since he came in, he brought a lot of positivity and a new philosophy for us. I think that was important because it matched my game. I think I can improve with him. I think this was the key factor as well, and the club that I received from the love that I received from the fans and the whole club. Everyone is treating me very, very good, so I feel at home, and that's what I'm staying. We had a chat during lockdown where we were supposed to talk about a game, and he said, okay, forget about it. We're going to talk about the future. And he asked me what I wanted to do. I was like, I feel good since you came. I'm proving philosophy is very, very nice, so I just want to stay. He was like, I'm sure if you can stay, you can leave a legacy, but it's all about what you want. Of course, you can leave and go for trophies in big clubs as well, but I think you can create a legacy here in this great club. That was a key message to me, and after that conversation, it was like, okay, and it's all clear for me. I just want to stay, and that's it. So this is very interesting, because if they spoke in lockdown, then why wasn't the deal announced earlier? Was it the finer details of the deal? Very interesting to see what happened during negotiations of that. But that's what Aubameyang has said in an interview, and that is the news on Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, that he could have left, but decided he wanted to create a legacy at Arsenal. We need more players like him. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed, please hit a like and subscribe. See you guys in the next one. Bye bye.